Hey everybody, it's GobletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'll be playing another Tinkerer's Cube draft. This is going to be a cube focused around a bunch of highly synergistic, very specific cards that do some wild stuff in the right deck. Since this is a cube draft, we will not be keeping any of the cards that we draft. I believe that is all of the little introductory stuff out of the way, so let's hop into the pick one, pack one. So in this pack, there's one card that I'm very, very high on in this cube, because it has absolutely demolished me in the past, and that is Henrika, Domnathi. This is a 4-mana, 1/3 flyer. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You can have each player sack a creature, you can draw a card and lose a life, or you can transform her. Once you transform her, she is a 3/4 flying Death Touch lifelink that can buff all of your other flying Death Touch and lifelinkers for only 3 mana. An absolutely busted card, and she's one of the few cards in this pack or in this cube that you really don't have to build around at all for her to be super powerful. As you can see by the other stuff in here, need a lot of historic for Weatherlight, need a lot of light knights for the circle of loyalty, you need a lot of token production for Anointed Procession, that kind of stuff. Henrika Domnathi is just an incredibly powerful card, no matter what's going on in your deck, so pretty easy pick one, pack one for me, because I do like to start off any draft, be it a cube draft, be it a regular draft, anything like that, with cards that are relatively open, so that I can start taking whatever's getting passed to me the most. So now, pick two now. What do we have here? We have some decent black cards to follow that up, although they are a little bit more specific. Eye Twitch, you're going to want to pick up some lessons to have in the sideboard, and Silver Smoke Ghoul, you're definitely going to want some life gain to synergize with this to bring it back from your graveyard. Henrika Domnathi is a lifelinker, and she's going to buff our other lifelinkers potentially, so Silver Smoke Ghoul could be a decent pickup here. Could take a dual land. I'm definitely not going to take Anointed Procession this early. But that is a powerful card, theoretically. Vraska's fun, make some Death Touchers. I think I'm just on one of these solid black cards here. Probably going to go with the Silver Smoke Ghoul or the Eye Twitch. Let's go Silver Smoke Ghoul. The only thing I don't like about Eye Twitch is I really don't like having to dedicate some of my picks to lessons. Now that is a big factor in this version of the Tinkerer's Cube. They put in a lot of learn cards and a lot of lessons, cards like Field Trip, First Day of Class as well, but I really haven't kind of drafted them enough to know for sure if they're good or not, but so far from my experience of playing against them a bit, they don't seem all that great. It seems like they're just going to cost a lot of picks to try to get them to work and then not do too much work. So pick 3 now. There's not a ton going on here. Charming Prince is good in a Flicker deck because it has that ability to redo and enter the battlefield effect. And also Scry's 2 gains 3 life when it enters the board, so it works in a life gain deck as well. So yeah, 2 mana 2/2 that gains 3 life when it enters the battlefield. That's enough life gain to trigger Silver Smoke Ghoul. Maybe take that for black-white life gain. Merfolk Looter is just a great card. Just card draw there, card filtering. Unholy Heat's nice cheap removal, and there's not a lot of removal in the cube. I think I kind of want to push towards life gain here. We have Silver Smoke Ghoul and Henrika Domnathi both caring about life gain or gaining us life, so now all 3 of our cards fit well into that archetype. Now, pick 4. No black-white life gain cards here. Not much going on in black or white. Falconwrath Forebear is going to be solid. 3/1 flyer, but it can't block, but whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you create a blood token, and if you have 2 blood tokens out, you can sacrifice them to bring this back from your graveyard to the battlefield, so really powerful if you're an aggressive black deck. Yeah, I could see a curve of turn 3 Falconwrath Forebear into turn 4 Henrika Domnathi being really hard to beat. I think I'm pretty okay with that here. Nothing in the other colors looks like a super huge reason to jump in outside of like the gold cards, and I don't think I'm going to try to be black, red, white, or black, white, blue. I'm not going to just immediately hop into 3 colors this early on. Now, pick 5. We've got Pitiless Plunderer, which is really fun if you're sacrificing a lot of creatures, but I don't think it's going to be all that good here. Banalish Honor Guard, interesting. I guess there's like a legendary tribal deck they're trying to get us to use. I think I'm just going to take the white-black dual land here. That seems fine to me. Beanstalk Giant's a really fun card. I always enjoy casting Beanstalk Giant. A ramp spell and the big creature that you're ramping into all in one card. It's pretty fun. There's a Shrine. Don't think we're going for the Shrine deck here. We've got a bunch of nice aggressive black creatures. I think we're just going to try to get in on that train. Yeah, we'll take Isolated Chapel here. Ooh, the Black Shrine, though. Goshintai of Hidden Cruelty. not likely to kill a bunch of stuff unless we have a lot of shrines, because cards are going to be pretty decently sized here. It is a cube draft. Probably just going to take Feed the Swarm over that. Nice cheap removal. We do have to lose life equal to the permanent's mana value of the permanent that we're destroying, but we've got a lot of life gain. We're probably going to try to pick up more. Alright, Foulmire Knight's a decent card. Draw a card and then get a little 1/1 Death Toucher down. We could take Lord of Extinction here. Just a beefy creature. Doesn't have any trample or anything, so it can just get chump blocked like all day long. But we're not tied to white. We have a single white card here. We do have one white dual land. Yeah, I don't think Lord of Extinction is that much more powerful than Foulmire Knight, weirdly enough, because like when you think about it, Foulmire Knight just trades for Lord. This can get chump blocked. Your opponent can just have a lot of time to find an answer to it. I'm just going to take the Foulmire Knight. Like the cheap little Death Toucher that draws us a card early game too. And now we can start drafting a little bit of Death Touched energy with Hooded Blightfang here. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses life and you gain a life. They put the Hooded Blightfang in here. They also put in Finn the Fangbearer, the one that whenever your Death Touchers deal damage to your opponent gets a couple poison counters. There's a little Death Touch Matters sub-theme we can try hopping into. We should probably just take Necrotic Fumes here to make any learn spells that we get better, but Hooded Blightfang just seems more fun. If we can get that to pop off, and I can pretty easily just take the Cycling Barrenmoor. I think Convent of Infinite Rage is a really good shrine. This is one of the best shrines in my opinion, so if we were in red, I think we would just slam this down. This is one, you really don't need very many shrines for this to be a good card, because it's kind of like a cheaper version of that black shrine that like destroys a 1 toughness creature in the end step. This, during your upkeep, it's going to do 1 damage to any target. That includes creatures, so it can clear out 1 toughness creatures really easily. As soon as you get another shrine, it'll start clearing out 2 toughness creatures. That's a scary shrine for sure. So we don't have any lessons yet, but we also don't have any artifacts or enchantments for Naomi. Now it is early enough, we're still in pack 1 here, that we can just start picking them up for Naomi, and there are a lot of artifacts and enchantments in the cube. But I don't know, I feel like Eye Twitch is... it's a much more efficient card, and if we're going to have to draft around either of them anyway, we'll just take an Eye Twitch here. Uh-oh. Well, goodbye, Harkin or whatever. Alright, it's auto-selecting at least, so we'll get the card that I chose. It's just disappeared. Quincy Harker, that's the name. Alright. The other thing about Eye Twitch is that we have 1 white card, so if I take Naomi, and then we don't play white, we're just not going to play it, but if we take Eye Twitch, then we could maybe move into like Black-Red Sacrifice or something, because we only have 1 white card, and we see a Slaughter Priest of Mogus with only 2 cards left in the pack, so now we're potentially just moving into Black-Red Sacrifice instead of Black-White Life Gain. So, pretty happy to have that Eye Twitch there. Ooh, now we have Bone Shards. This is going to be excellent removal, even if we're just Black-White. 1 black mana. We have to 2-for-1 ourselves, so we have to cast a Bone Shards plus discard a card, or cast Bone Shards plus sack a creature, but we do destroy any target creature or planeswalker for only 1 mana. Definitely going to play it here, I think. Goshintai of Shared Purpose would be really nice with some of our black sacrifice stuff, but now I'm considering being open towards moving into red, seeing that Rakdos build around uncommon with only 2 cards left in the pack. So I'm going to take the Bone Shards first. If Goshintai wheels, that's easily the pick, but if it doesn't, we're probably taking like a Fireblade Charge or something for Rakdos, because I doubt Magda or Explosive Singularity will wheel. Ooh, Mascot Exhibition to go with our Eye Twitch. Probably the strongest lesson you can pick up. And probably the pick here. Lizard Blades is a fine red card, but it doesn't exactly like do any wild synergies with what we have right now. It's just a good card in general. And then same with like Portable Hole. It's just like a cheap removal spell for cheap creatures of our opponents. Yeah, I really want to pick up Mascot Exhibition and make sure I have just a really just banger lesson to pick up with my Learn spell, my Eye Twitch, and any other Learn that we pick up. Yeah, Mascot Exhibition, that's one of the few lessons I'm actually pretty happy to pick up. As you can see, there are other ones that I think are just like really weak, like Necrotic Fumes and stuff that are like very just okay. Or Introduction to Prophecy and stuff that's just randomly in here. There's a ton of environmental sciences in here as well. So we have Havoc Gesture for Black-Red Sacrifice. This is a really good ability. Obviously, the 3-mana version's way better. The 3-mana 3/3 that does the same thing, Mayhem Devil. But even at 5 mana, this is a really scary effect to have, especially because this Tinkerer's Cube this time around has a good amount of treasure production. So when you're just sacrificing treasures, you're just sending them to be 1 damage to any target. Just get a lot of little removal spells on a stick out of your treasure tokens from cards like Strike It Rich. So yeah, I like Havoc Gesture here. We could take Gideon, be moving to black-white, but I think, again, based on how that first pack go, I think we're pretty safe to go into Rakdos. And now Contract Killing is going to be great. It's a removal spell that's going to give us 2 treasure tokens, which will work really well with our cards that care about when we're sacrificing permanents. So when we sack treasure tokens, our Slaughter Priest will get bigger. When we sack treasure tokens, our Havoc Gesture will throw damage out. This Slaughter Priest was incredibly late, so if there is Mayhem Devil, we'll get it really quickly, I think. I don't actually remember for sure if Mayhem Devil is in this cube or if they decided that was too strong, because as you can tell, this is definitely weaker than just a full-on arena cube, the Tinkerer's Cube being much more about synergies and stuff, so we have removal like Contract Killing instead of Doomblade for only 2 at instant speed, you know? But yeah, I'm going to take Contract Killing here. There's a fun discard strategy as well, the Dying to Serve in there, and then we saw the Cycler that whenever you discard a card, put a -1/-1 counter on something. There's a lot of various little synergies you can try to do in this cube. It's kind of wild. So now I'm going to go with Lampet of Death's Vigil. For 1 mana, we can sacrifice a creature to have each opponent lose a life and gain a life. This is one of the better sacrifice outlets in the cube. It's really good with cards like Havoc Gesture. Yeah, super sweet card. Improvised Weaponry would be good here as well. Remove a small thing and get a treasure token, but I think really want to take that great sack outlet here first. All right, pack 2, pick 6. Looks like pretty much nothing for us here. We could take an Academic Dispute, and if we end up getting multiple good lessons instead of just Mascot Exhibition, then that will go up in value. It's basically just 1 mana instant speed. Grab a lesson from your sideboard. So kind of a weak sort of tutor effect. I don't think Comedy of Terrible Secrets is really going to pop off, so I'm probably going to scoop up this Academic Dispute just in case. All right, Black-Red Dual Land is pretty sweet here. We also see Monoskellion. Well, it's a 2-mana 2/2. You can remove a counter from it to do a damage to something. Doesn't seem that great. Goblin Wizardry, you get a couple 1/1s for 4 mana, even though we want to sack things. 4 mana for 2 cards. Bit weak for us. We're not really doing crazy prowess things. Maze Mind Tome's solid for pretty much any deck, just solid card draw, but I'm just going to take the good mana fixing here. They're like just a bunch of cards that aren't like great. They're just fine. They're solid. Rise of Exodus seems fine to me. I mean, it's only 1 more mana than Contract Killing to just exile a creature, exile an instant sorcery from a grave, and pick up our Mascot Exhibition. Seems fine to me. Haunted of Nights reach another scary shrine at the beginning of your upkeep. An opponent discards a card for each shrine you have. Now, we could have just had a bunch of Rakdos shrines. I think that one pack had multiple shrines in it, which is kind of wild. It's not ideal, definitely, for anybody who's trying to do the 5-color shrine deck. They're going to be sad about that one. So definitely Fireblade Charger here. It's got a decent ability when it dies, being able to throw damage equal to its power to any target. Good for the sack. We'll take the white card here, because I'm not going to play Bonder's Enclave. Unless I'm a deck with a ton of power for a creature, 4 greater creatures, I'm not really going to run Bonder's Enclave, because I would rather just have lands that tap for a color. I don't want to get stuck on mana, because I have a colorless land. Take a blue-red duel, speculate on splashing in a blue card if we get something good, because I feel like even here, Strike It Rich is just not actually doing too much for us. Yeah, I'm going to take that blue-red duel. Theoretically, again, those treasure tokens can do some work when we have Havoc Gesture down, but I think they're worth dedicating a card just to getting 2 of them. Ooh, wow, these are both pretty good. I feel like Archfiend of Stars is a ton of mana. We don't have a lot of discard going on, so Improvised Weaponry is just better for us. Kill a small creature for our opponents and get a treasure token. Because that way, it's like we're getting a treasure token out of it. We're not dedicating a card entirely to getting a treasure token. It also does a little bit of work. Even if we don't kill something with it, at least we do a little bit of damage to our opponent. I don't know, it's pretty cute. I like it there. Alright, so this is 18 cards here. 2 of them are land. This is a 16-card deck. Looks pretty good here. I like everything that's going on. We've got a 5 and 6 mana removal spell. I don't think I want another 6 mana removal spell right now. I like Falconrath Celebrant's a big menace card, get a couple blood. Grim Dancer, though, is really efficient. I really like this card on curve. Like a 3 mana, 3/3 Death Touch Lifelink, or Menace Lifelink, or Menace Death Touch. Anything we need there. Super spicy card. Yeah, Grim Dancer is really solid. Halvar's pretty solid too, but it is a lot about running a lot of equipments, and it would be a splash for us. We have the white-black dual land to make it so Halvar's pretty splashable. We've got a little bit of treasure tokens as well, but I don't know. The Sword of the Realms is a really scary, really annoying card, so it was definitely a consideration. So we have Squee, which we can keep sacrificing and recasting. However, it's not a very efficient way to do that, because it costs 3 mana to get it back out every single time we do that, which isn't awesome. I feel like Igneous Inspiration is a really efficient removal spell. Battlecry Goblin's a great beat stick that's really quick. Yeah, I like Inspiration, Battlecry Goblin, Squee. I feel like Squee's the most likely to wheel out of them. I kind of want to just go like Battlecry Goblin, just take the aggressive card here. Not super sure about that one. Oh no! Oh god, no. This pack is too good. It gives us 2 incredible options that are really important for this kind of deck. Kalain Reclusive Painter, that comes with a treasure token and puts counters on everything that we cast with a treasure token. And Sanguine Brushstroke, which is absurd. It's just the bigger, beefier Blood Artist. For 3 mana, you get a Blood Artist and a Blood token. And when you sack blood, each opponent loses a life. I think I just take Brushstroke here. Blood Artist is just absurd for these kind of decks. Whenever any creature dies, target player loses a life and you gain a life. It doesn't even have to be sacrificed. We can just be trading in combat. It doesn't have to be our creatures. It happens when our opponent's creatures die. Such a good card. So Horde Robber would be okay here. It's going to be hard to get this to get in because it's just a 1/3, but when it does, we do get treasure, which is nice. Discerning Taste seems pretty bad. Flame Fiend is like a lot of mana, but a powerful effect. Sacrifice a treasure token or a blood token to deal 4 to whatever targets we want. I feel like I'd rather just have Foul Play, to be honest. Just destroy only a small thing and then draw a card. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating how much small stuff we're going to see. Oh, okay. All right, this is an easy pick. Fell Stinger and Blood Aspirant would both be fine. Good cards. Inkling Summoning as well with the amount of Learn that we have. We've got a couple ways. But Falconrath Noble, it's just the flying Blood Artist. Already went over how good Blood Artist is. This is Blood Artist but flying. Just a bit more mana. Now we have Changeling Outcast. We can consistently just ping our opponent with this. Or we can take Godless Shrine to make splashing in white really easy. But we don't have anything in white we want to splash. We just have Charming Prince. We didn't take that Halvar or anything like that. I guess we can take Illuminate History. Am I going to run Changeling Outcast and be super happy with it? I don't know. Maybe. I need some more cards in the main deck. Right now we're at 22 cards. Ooh, Makeshift Munitions? Is this card good? I don't know if this is good enough for just like a regular sack deck, but it's definitely good if you have a lot of treasures and blood. I don't know if we have enough, but it's the only thing that it's the only thing in our colors, so we'll definitely take it and take a look at it, consider it there. Ooh, Skullport Merchant's beautiful. Get a treasure token, and it's a sacrifice outlet that lets us draw a card, sacrificing a treasure or a creature. Definitely better than Pyromancer or Cutpurse in our deck. Pyromancer is really good in the right deck, like the blue-red deck that can draw a lot of cards efficiently, but we're not drawing a bunch of bonus cards too often. Alright, now we've got multiple ways to use these random little blood tokens off the Celebrant, so I like that quite a bit here. And we did wheel the Squee, or we can take Environmental Sciences. But again, I think I only have 1 or 2 ways to learn. It's not that exciting to me. I'm going to take Squee here. We'll go for it. Squee, you can do the thing. And we wheeled Kalain Reclusive Painter. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That was something I didn't even mention when I picked Sanguine Brushstroke. But when you're stuck between 2 equally powerful cards, one is monocolored and one is dual-colored, you should probably take the monocolored one if it's early enough that the dual-colored might wheel, because the dual-colored card is always going to be more likely to wheel than the monocolored card, obviously, because anybody playing black, be it black-white, black-green, black-white, black-white could use Sanguine Brushstroke, whereas only black-red players can use the black-red card, obviously. Alright, so let's go ahead and build this deck and see how it turns out. Alright, so here is the final build of the deck. This is going to be an aggressive Rakdos sacrifice deck like you would see all over the place in pretty much any limited format ever. However, the kind of twist this time around is that in the Tinkerer's Cube there's a lot of treasure and blood production, so we have a little bit of that going on to hit our sacrifice theme. Contract killing, improvised weaponry, and Kalain spitting out a little bit of treasure. Sanguine Brushstroke and Falconwrath Celebrants and Falconwrath Forebear spitting out a little bit of blood. And when we're sacrificing those, they will trigger Havoc Gesture's ability to deal damage to any target. They'll trigger Slaughter Priest of Mogus's ability to get +2/+0 until end of turn. And there's just a little bit of other synergy with them, like the ability to sacrifice any artifact to makeshift munitions to do that damage. We can sacrifice blood tokens or treasure tokens to that. And another way to use our blood tokens is to bring back Falconwrath Forebear from the graveyard to the battlefield. So pretty fun deck here. Some nice aggressive cards in general as well. Just cards like Battlecry Goblin, Fireblade Charger, even Eye Twitch just being a 1-mana 1/1 flyer is nice and aggressive. Grim Dancer is a great 3-drop aggro card. Most of our 3-drops do have like 3 power here, which is nice. Obviously Henrika Domnathi is a huge game ender. Just massive stats on that card for only 4 mana, massive value. And Falconwrath Noble and Blood Artist from our Sanguine Brushstroke can really find a way to close out the game quite quickly after an aggressive start. If we just hit our opponent a few times via regular combat, then it shouldn't be too hard to get enough Blood Artist or Falconwrath Noble triggers late in the game to finish our opponent off. So that is the deck. Very excited to see how this one does. I think this deck looks really sweet. I definitely think it's better than our first deck because the curve is a bit better, and we definitely have more interaction this time around with Contract Killing, Rise of Exodus, Feed the Swarm, and Bone Shards. So yeah, I'm super pumped to see how this deck does as we head into the gameplay. All right, here we are, round 1. Bit of a slow hand, none of our 1 or 2 drops, but powerful 3 and 4 mana cards later in the game here, with a bit of cheap interaction with Feed the Swarm. Playing against a red-blue deck here, and they start with an Ogre Head Helm. Still don't draw any 2 mana cards. We do have a 6 mana removal spell in hand here, so I'm just going to pop this Feed the Swarm, go to this Ogre Head Helm, so I only have to take the 1 hit from it instead of multiple. Because I've got my plan for what I'm doing with my mana every other turn from now on. Turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, it's going to be one of these two, depending on if they have something I really need to kill. And if they do, I can pop the treasure token to go for the Rise of Exodus and pick up Mascot Exhibition from the sideboard. So that'll be a huge play late game. I guess if I don't draw another black source here, I will have to pop the treasure token just to cast the 3 Weird Sisters, which is a little sad, because then I won't have the treasure token for Rise of Exodus later. So there's Jace Mirror Mage with the mana paid to copy it.
Today's a nice day for
That's a card that can scry 2 as a +1, and as a 0 they reveal the top card of their library and draw it, and they remove loyalty counters equal to the card's mana value. So they can use 1 Jace to scry to make sure that the top card is just like a land or something, and then use the other Jace to draw it without damaging the other Jace. They did scry both to the bottom though, so they're going to go in blind, and it's a 3-drop setting that Jace to just 1 loyalty, so we can kill that Jace with Skullport Merchant easily. This does not have haste, unfortunately. And we're definitely not going to be able to cast Rise of Exodus if I pop the treasure token on the 3 Weird Sisters, but I don't know, I feel like it's still probably worth it. This card's just so good. The sooner the better. Get our card draw off of it as well. Hope to dig for that second black source when we head into combat so we can play Swamp as our land per turn. Nope, a Bone Shards it is. Alright, let's get rid of that 1 loyalty Jace and pass the turn.
Ah, here's a new piece to the puzzle.
5 mana up for them. They've got Poppet Stitcher in hand that we know of. Probably don't just jam that out. Doesn't do a whole ton right here. Just a 2/3 on the ground. Can make decayed zombies whenever they cast an instant or sorcery, but they are decayed, so they won't be able to block, and they'll die as soon as they attack. The idea behind Poppet Stitcher being that you get your 3 decayed zombies so that you have 3 tokens and flip it into the factory that makes all of those decayed tokens 3/3s with no abilities, so they won't be decayed anymore. They will be able to block, and they will not die when they attack. Ooh. It's any 3 tokens? No, 3 or more creature tokens. Okay, I was going to be worried about the synergy between Poppet Stitcher and Celebrants, but Poppet Stitcher only counts creature tokens, so the blood does not help it. We have hit the second black source. Love that. Super big fan. Probably playing Falcon Wrath Celebrants this turn. And then, as much as I'd love to leave Skullport Merchant around, it's probably worth trading Skullport Merchant up into Celebrants here. With the 3 Weird Sisters. However, we could also just transform her to kill Jace. So would I rather get the full value and get the sack effect out here to trade Skullport into their Celebrants? Or flip her and just kill Jace right now? I think I'd rather just kill Jace right now.
Hopefully I helped.
Again, I wish there was somewhere where it lists all of the voice actors on Magic Arena, because I swear to God I recognize some of the voices, but I have no confirmation because there's no like credits section on Magic Arena. If anybody knows where I can find out who all the voice actors are on Magic Arena, I would love to know, because I don't know why, but this Jace just sounds like Nolan North to me, the guy who plays Nathan Drake, which is a really weird voice for Jace in my opinion. But that's just what it sounds like to me. It sounds like if it's not Nolan North, it's somebody doing a Nolan North voice. That's probably just my problem. I feel like everybody sounds like Nolan North to me. Isn't too many things. We lose Skullport Merchant off the double block, or we lose Celebrants. So Celebrants for Celebrants is like the fairest trade in the world. They don't have any treasure tokens, so unless they have 4 damage at instant speed for 2 mana, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Alright, cool. Celebrants for Celebrants. Super fair trade. They definitely have the mana up to kill our Fiends of the Darkest Night after blocking with Skyswimmer Koi, but it would be a 2-for-1 trade. They block with the Koi and throw a burn spell at it. So we'll just send in here, I think. I don't think it's worth Rise of X to sing the Koi preemptively. Alright, no instant speed burn. So Fiends of Darkest Night just going to do their thing. Do we want to burn the Koi now? Or Rise the Koi? I don't think so still. I'm just going to play Slaughter Priest of Mogis. This does not sacrifice artifacts. No, it sacrifices specifically treasures. I wish Skullport Merchant were like the 1/2 in Kamigawa, where you can sacrifice any artifact or creature to do that. So I'm feeling pretty good here. The Skyswimmer Koi really doesn't matter. Unless they make like a bunch of blood tokens, I guess they get to draw and discard a bunch of cards. But because it doesn't matter too much, I'm just holding 2 removal spells in hand for whatever they play that does matter. So that makes me feel pretty comfortable. And I have 2 pretty big threats on the board. Fiends of Darkest Night and Slaughter Priest of Mogis. Both. Gonna start just jamming in. We'll see what they can do about it here. Stansia Uprising is the play. We don't have anything to get rid of enchantments here. We're just not a good color pair for that. We actually do have 1 card, but we already cast it. Feed the Swarm. R.I.P. Alright, and then there's Poppet Stitcher. So we do have to worry about Stansia Uprising. If they get exactly 13 permanents, they can do 7 to any targets. They just get to use it as a removal spell. That's not that bad. We can just deal with Stansia Uprising. being around. Just be okay with it. Alright. I don't think I want to crack any blood right now when I can use them to make the Slaughter Priest bigger. Plus I have makeshift munitions in the deck. So now... kind of want to get rid of Poppet Stitcher here. I'm moderately worried about Poppet Stitcher going off with Stancy Uprising. If they get 3 tokens, getting the Poppet Factory would be pretty worrisome. So I'm going to get rid of Poppet Stitcher, and I'm going to use Rise of Exodus because I would really like to pick up my Mascot Exhibition, so I have another big impactful play for next turn. And then we still have Bone Shards, a nice 1-mana removal for whatever else we may need to kill in the future. And I'll go ahead and pop a blood now that I am getting damage out of it. Since that is unblocked, might as well get some extra damage here. They're down to 9. The one problem is now I don't have a really easy card to discard to the Bone Shards. But we could draw another land. And worst case scenario, we just sacrifice the Merchant. Not ideal, but it's not like we have a bunch of expendable creatures to be sacrificing to draw cards to right now off the Skullport Merchant. So Solemn Simulacrum off the top from our opponent. They've got a lot of permanents. They probably are pretty close to Stancy Uprising being able to just shoot our flyer. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, they have exactly 13 permanents. So they need to crack the blood token, but then they could pop Stancy Uprising in the end step. Yep, 13 permanents. So in their end step, they'll have 14. So if they don't want Uprising to get sacked... Oh, it's a May ability. It is a May ability. Alright, so it doesn't matter. But if they do want to sack Uprising, they have to crack the blood. So that's what they're thinking on. And they are going to crack the blood, discarding Igneous Inspiration to go ahead and kill Fiends of Darkest Night, I'm assuming. Yes. They have killed the Fiends of Darkest Night, but they are at 9 life. We've got Mascot Exhibition. We've got Kalain and Lampad and Bone Shards instead, though. Play all 3 of those. Sacrifice Kalain because we're just going to use the treasure token to draw a card off Skullport Merchant. Actually seems kind of good. Slaughter Priest gets first strike when we sacrifice a card, right? If we sacrifice a card to the Slaughter Priest, it'll get first strike. Either way, that's only 4 toughness there, so we can pretty freely attack in here. I want to play these cards first so I have a little more sacrificial fodder. Why do you want to use the treasure? Oh, because you want to put a counter on it? I don't want to do that. Alright. So now, if they don't block, we just have lethal, so they have to just like chump block with a 1/1. We're going to block with Simulacrum, make us give it first strike here. It's fine, we will then. Let's get rid of Kalain, I think. So again, I'm just going to use this treasure to draw a card rather than get a +1/+1 counter. Right, but that does make sense, though. That is their best chump block, because they get to draw a card off of that. Chump. Alright, now we have Bone Shards. Do we really need to kill a Sky Swimmer Koi, though? I feel like we don't really. It's our only removal spell left, so I think I'd rather keep it in hand. Just in case. Alright, take 3. We're down to 15. They're down to 9. Koldotha Flame Fiend. No artifacts, though, so it's just a 4/4. Excuse me. All right. Fireblade Charger, that's really nice. Sacrifice Fireblade Charger to Bone Shards to kill Flame Fiend and a 1/1. They're down to a single Trump blocker. That could be worth it. Getting a 4/4 out of the way is nice. I also don't really want to use Bone Shards if I don't have to still. I live in fear. I live in constant fear. Let's stop being cowards about it though. Let's use it. They go to 7 life now. I'm gonna draw our card off the merchant now, see if we draw a 3 or less mana card. Oh, we do, but we need another black mana. Unfortunately, we had to spend a black on Skullport there, and we had to spend a black on the removal. Tiger Tribe Hunter, another 4/4. And they just passed the turn now. Yeah, we'll just go to our turn. We've got a land now to discard its blood token. Slaughter Priest gets to attack as a 4-power first striker if we sacrifice a Lampad. But at 7 life, Lampad's really scary. Grim Dancer's really scary too, though, because we can give it Menace, Death Touch. Maybe we even sack the Merchant. We probably sack the Merchant. Send this in, get ready to sack the Merchant for first strike. If they double block, then we just sack the blood token, because even if we get first strike, we're going to trade into just one of their creatures. Okay, so they're going to single block, so then we do give first strike here. I believe it's Merchant time. Now we drop a Menacer. I'm going to go Menace Death Touch here. Hold on to this land with our blood token. Improvised weaponry is really nice. Makes it very, very likely to find lethal. If they don't have a counter spell, so let's just jam everybody in there. Honestly, that was me clicking a little fast. I still don't think I want to attack with Lampad, but maybe it's the right play. I don't know. Oh, it's just me jamming in. Getting excited here. Okay, so they're going to block Slaughter Priest and take 4. I'm pretty okay with Slaughter Priest dying here, so I'm just going to sack the blood token rather than sacrificing a creature, just to make sure I still get the trade off at least, even if we don't get first strike here. I guess I could sack it to do 1 more to them and do 5, put them to 2 life, so improvised weaponry is theoretically lethal. But they have something in hand. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I didn't immediately sacrifice the Slaughter Priest here. So now we'll give Slaughter Priest first strike by sacking Grim Dancer. If they're going to kill Grim Dancer. Cool. They're down to 6. We'll drop an Eye Twitch. I think I'd still rather have improvised weaponry being able to surprise them than just putting them to 4 here. Shipwreck Dowser. What have you got? Igneous Inspiration. You've got the mana for that. We just sack whatever they target and it stops them from learning. I believe. Because then they won't have a target, so their spell will fizzle. Yeah, target the Slaughter Priest. Train them for life. Nice. Yeah, Igneous Inspiration fizzles. Goes to our turn. We have a flyer. They don't. We have theoretical lethal here, I believe. Yeah, but it's risky if we sack our whole board and improvise weaponry their face. They only have 1 mana up though, so I think we can do this. Sure, we'll grab a Fractal Summoning, because I don't want to discard any of these cards. I like the Mascot Exhibition as a backup plan if this doesn't kill them. Alright, there we go. That is 1-0 as we head into game 2. Alright, here we are now in game 2. Really like this hand. We've got a turn 1 and turn 2 play. Not like the ultimate curve out of 1, 2, 3, 4, but we've got 1, 2, 4, 5. Ooh, now we got a Battlecry Goblin as well. This hand is shaping up to do some nasty things. Playing against a green-white deck here. Could be a lot of things. They go for a Golden Egg, which draws a card when it hits the board, and they can filter that to be whatever color of mana they need. Or just gain some life off of it. I think I'd rather Slaughter Priest here. The Battlecry Goblin can potentially haste itself out for 4 mana. So we'll play the Goblin on turn 3 if we don't need to improvise weaponry something. But if they cast a Sithis or something, maybe they're green-white Enchantress, we will absolutely weaponry. Dungeon map, okay. I am not sure what's going on here, but I'm into it. Dungeon map to venture into the dungeon. Fun card for sure. 3 mana tap, venture into the dungeon. Probably just going to get used as a mana rock here, because it'd be pretty bold to just start venturing into the dungeon when you're getting slapped by the Rakdos aggro deck at this point in the game. I'm guessing they're just going to play like a 5 mana card on me next turn. Alright, here's our Battlecry Goblin. Don't quite have Pack Tactics if we don't spend the fire-breathing mana, unfortunately. Pack Tactics is if we attack with total power 6 or greater, and if we get that with Battlecry Goblin, we get a 1/1 Goblin attacking. Alright, we've got an improvised weaponry target, and that is probably the play here, so that we can keep all of our creatures on board without having to trade any of them off. Plus, that treasure token gives us the mana that we need to be able to buff the Battlecry Goblin pre-combat for Pack Tactics. Is there some way, I don't know how sequencing works here, so I'm not sure, but is there some way to sacrifice the treasure token to make Slaughter Priest 4 power before we spit out the Goblin and still keep that treasure token's mana to pump after we have the Goblin? I don't think there is. I don't think there is, and if there is, I have no idea how to do it on Arena. But it would be like doing it at the beginning of combat before declare attackers. But then I think the mana would just empty right when I move to declare attackers before attacks are declared. So I don't think there's a way to buff Battlecry Goblin and the Goblin token that's attacking. So I think I'm just supposed to do it right now to guarantee Pack Tactics. But I'm missing out on 1 theoretical point of damage. If I could use that pump ability after the Goblin's out, I would get 1 more point of damage. But I don't think I can. Normally you can, but the way that I'm getting Pack Tactics is by sacrificing the treasure. So I need to be able to sacrifice the treasure for the mana for the Goblin's ability and then attack and still have the mana floating after I've declared the attack. I'm pretty sure the way it works is that my last opportunity to do things before I declare attacks is the beginning of combat step, and when you move from the beginning of combat step to the declare attacker step, your mana pool is emptied, like when you move through any other step. No idea, but I think that just makes sense to me. All right, they're at 11. They have a 3-2 and a 2-1. These are the 3-2 is definitely a card I'd like to kill, so I'm very okay with trading into that. I don't love trading the Battlecry Goblin off. Do we just slam down the 3 Weird Sisters, make them sacrifice the 2-1, and we just sacrifice a Goblin? And then we attack with everybody, and since we sacrificed a card, the Slaughter Priest gets bigger, which makes it very threatening, which makes Battlecry Goblin then spit out another Goblin token. I think that seems really good to me. I think that's what we do here. I believe that is what we do here. And now they get to trade their Provisioner into our Battlecry Goblin or our Slaughter Priest. They're both really big threats. They're going to choose the Battlecry Goblin. Go down to 5. Falconwrath Noble should be a really good way to close out this game. Make sure even if they get a bunch of trades down, we're draining them for that last few points of life. They're down to 5 now. The Wandering Emperor is the play.
Now you've done it.
They're going to exile Slaughter Priest of Mogis and gain 2. They're up to 7.
I am almost sad to see you go.
2 mana left. Do they have a 2 mana removal spell too? Their deck's pretty sick so far. Just a really nice green-white deck here. Okay, I don't think they have removal, so I think that's just lethal. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's exact lethal if they don't have anything here. Alright, that is lethal. I had no idea the Wandering Emperor is in this cube. That's insane for the Tinkerer's Cube. But so is Henrika Domnathi, and she will close out the game for us. Here we are now in Game 3. Another pretty great hand. Fireblade Charger on 1, some pieces of interaction, removal, Grim Dancer coming up on 3. Good stuff. Opponent is on green-white again. Prosperous Innkeeper being the first play. Very good card. They get a treasure token, and every creature they play is going to let them gain a life. I'll 1-for-1 trade a Fireblade Charger into that. Later, this Bone Charge is going to be really good, because we get to sack the Charger, kill the Innkeeper with the Charger's ability, and kill their other creature with Bone Charge's ability. And I think that's good enough that I would rather do that than commit to the board here, especially because if we let them untap with Setessan Champion, they're definitely going to draw a card here. So let's go ahead, Bone Shards it up. I guess with Improvised Weaponry, we can kill both creatures if they choose to block here. Alright, they don't choose to block here, so we will sacrifice a creature to destroy target creature, sack the Charger, blow up both of their creatures. They're 2 for 2. And shut off that Enchantress card. Goshintai of Shared Purpose. That is pretty scary. They get a 1/1 every one of their end steps. Probably just play a flyer here. I mean, we could play a Grim Dancer as a Menace Death Touch. Menace Death Touch, pretty good against Goshintai. I think we just pop out a flyer here. Because I feel like whichever one of these cards that we play is just not going to get blocked. and this one gives us something when it gets blocked. Unfortunately, Honden of Infinite Rage, being pretty much the best shrine, alongside Go Shintai, means they kind of just live the shrine dream here. Because they're playing against Black-Red, which just can't blow up artifacts or enchantments. This is a cube where I highly recommend taking artifact and enchantment removal and main decking it when you can, but we're not a color pair that can, which means these matchups are dang near an auto lose for us. So they already have 2 shrines out. Already feels pretty bad. I guess I can dig for a removal spell to kill the Go Shintai. That's not going to do it. We're just going to kill our forebear here. Yeah, I don't think we could win this one. And the reason I'm so prone to just sack the blood token, even though it could theoretically bring forebear back later, is that their red shrine's always going to be able to kill that. So they get 2 1/1s. Oh my god, okay. They get 3 1/1s, do 3 damage to any target, and drain us for 3 life every turn. There's our 1 piece of enchantment removal, which I think we have to use on the Honden of Infinite Rage. So they can't just keep killing all our creatures, because they do 3 damage now, which is enough to kill most of the creatures in our deck. But we have to lose life to do that. We're still getting drained by that. Now we're going to start getting slammed by Mountain of 1/1s. I mean, we could kill Go Shintai of Shared Purpose so they stop getting 1/1s. Then they only do 2 damage to any target, and I just keep playing 3 toughness creatures like this and that. That feels like a long shot. I don't know. I'll do the best we got. I feel like it's just to try to get creatures that can stick on the board. But they've got us on lock here for sure. We're not breaking through the Go Shintai of Shared Purpose. Renata called to the hunt. Guess we can sacrifice the ghoul to draw a card and see if we get anywhere off of that. Oh boy, Shrine Steward. Do they have another shrine? They do. Alright, well. There's no way. They don't get to cast that immediately, but doesn't matter. They've already got more than enough creatures to block everything we have. Drain us for 2 again, get that out. We're dying in like a few turns. We have no more enchantment removal in the deck because our color pair just can't do it. Really bad matchup for us. The only thing we could have hoped to do there, the only thing that we could have played differently that maybe we misplayed on was had we kept Bone Shards longer, but I don't think that was misplay at all. You have to kill Setessan Champion when it pops out, and if you look back on the game and consider what would have gone differently had we not Bone Shards Setessan Champion, then sure, we could have killed Go Shintai of Shared Purpose, but they then would have drawn a card when they cast that, drawn a card when they cast that, drawn a card when they cast that, and drawn a card when they cast that. So they still would have been absolutely running us over with the rest of their shrines. Yeah, no, that was a rough one. Really good shrine deck from our opponent. Not a good matchup for a Rakdos deck. So we'll move on to round 4. This looks like a sweet hand. Our opponent is on the play. Excuse me. So unfortunately we're on the draw here. This would be a super good hand on the play. Just a ton of 2 and 3 mana cards here. But I'm still pretty excited. Opponent is on black-white. Dockside Chef into Eye Twitch is a really nice start. Don't really need Kalane here, but Kalane will let us play two 2-mana creatures next turn instead of just dropping Brushstroke. It does seem pretty cool to me. We'll drop Kalane. We'll drop Kalane, make a 3/3 Battlecry Goblin, I guess, alongside a Slaughter Priest of Mogis. Opponent's got 5 cards up here. They're on black-white. Hooded Blightfang is the play, a 1/4 Death Touch that drains us for life every time it attacks. Alright, we've got our 4 mana now. We'll 3 in a treasure token so we can drop a couple 2-drops. This Blightfang's pretty annoying. Gotta hope to get some removal for that, otherwise a 1/4 Death Touch does really wall off our stuff. Yeah, I think I go treasure token for Battlecry Goblin. Make that a 3/3, and then just cast the Slaughter Priest. Pass. If we draw removal for Blightfang, next turn we could just like blow it up and then attack all. That'd be super sweet. Nashi Moon Sage of Scion getting ninjutsu'd out here. Pretty good. They get to cast something off the top of one of our libraries by paying life instead of its mana cost. They're going to go for Sunblade Samurai, a 4/4 Vigilance, and our Falconwrath Forebear is permanently exiled now. So that was kind of the one hit Nashi's going to get. We can just block it from now on since it's just stuck on the ground here. But that's a pretty good hit. A 4/4 is going to hold off our attacks pretty well. Slaughter Priest does get in still, though. Slaughter Priest does things, because we just sacrifice 1 creature and give it first strike here. So I think we just attack with Slaughter Priest. I guess we could actually attack with Slaughter Priest and Battlecry Goblin, because we can buff the Battlecry Goblin and then attack both, and we spit out our Goblin token, then we sack the Goblin token for the Slaughter Priest. So Battlecry Goblin trades up into a 4/4 or a 1/4, and Slaughter Priest does the same. It's actually kind of cool. I think I'm down for that jam. Just gonna actually whittle down their board a little bit to make some room for the rest of our creatures to get in. Alright. Is it worth the mana to do a couple extra damage to them here? Or would I rather cast the Lampad? I think I'd rather be getting more creatures on the board than doing 2 more damage to them. I think I want to cast the Lampad. I could actually just use... No. Best thing is just use Battlecry Goblin here, actually, to buff the Goblin so it kills Dockside Chef, too. Yeah, that's definitely the best choice there. Get rid of that Dockside Chef. I think I'm pretty cool with the chump on Nashi. Stop them from casting another card for life. Although we do have Sanguine Brushstroke and Lampad, so if they get a little too risky, go too low on life, we can try to cheese them out of it. I don't know, let's see. Watch, they're going to get a great 1-drop. Yeah, they did. They got a great 3-drop, actually. Adeline. Alright. Yeah, I should have chump blocked there. Ooh, please sacrifice that to the Fellstinger. Okay. Alright. Maybe my idea is panning out a tiny bit if they don't have a lesson that gains life. If they don't have environmental sciences. They do have environmental sciences. Well, so they're at 8. We didn't hit a 5th mana to go Brushstroke and Lampad here. I guess we can play Skullport Merchant and Lampad. Just have more blockers. This is not great. Casting Environmental Sciences here, they're back up to 10. Stonehaven Pilgrim, Ancestral Blade. Send in Adeline. I guess we don't have the mana up to sack anything here. They're at 10. Kill the Lampid here. No, there's no shot. Our opponent can just flood the board out way too well. Alright, well, we could have chump blocked Nashi. That's about it this game. That could have gone differently. Then they wouldn't have had Adeline, but they still would have had this and this and this. Still just slamming down stuff on the board. Really efficiently. Blood Artist does matter significantly here. It means we don't immediately die, so here's that. I guess we actually do still immediately die, because Blood Artist isn't lifelink, it's just when things die we gain the life. So we can only gain up to be at 2 life before damage. Yeah, like we can do that, but we don't have the mana to sack enough creatures to be at enough life. If they had some first strike, theoretically. Alright. That was rough. Very strong deck from our opponent. And being able to ninjutsu out that Nashi was really powerful. Should have chumped the Nashi. Don't think we would have won if we did, but we would have had a better shot. Other than that, getting stuck on mana to where we can only cast 1 spell with a bunch of 2 and 3 mana spells in hand, and just 4 mana up there was really rough because our opponent was doing a really good job just efficiently dumping their hand out. As you saw there, the turn where they hit us with Nashi and got to play an Adeline for free, like, yeah, that was bad, but what made it so bad was they got to do that and, like, cast a Stonehaven card and a 2/2 equipment that comes with the creature and, like, another 2-drop, just triple 2-drop us, stuff like that. 2 and 2 it is, as we head into round 5. Like this hand a lot, and I will definitely keep it. Alright, get our turn 1 eye twitch down. Our opponent's on blue and red. Blue, red, black, Grixis from our opponent, and a Jeskai Elder coming down. Unfortunately, that gets to hit us. Eye Twitch is not really going to do anything to stop that. So you get to draw a card and discard a card this turn off Jeskai Elder. Drakehaven is the play. Oh my god. Drakehaven, Jeskai Elder. We're about to just get absolutely manhandled by Drakehaven. Every time they cycle or discard a card, they can spend 1 mana to make a 2/2 flying Drake. So every time Jeskai Elder hits us, they're making a 2/2 flyer as well. So we probably have to Bone Shards this Jeskai Elder. And they have great cards to discard, like cards with Unearth, like the Archfiend of Sorrow, so now they can just spend 5 mana, hit us for 4 in the sky, and give -2/-2 to all our creatures. This is pretty brutal. Do we just Bone Shards Jeskai Elder right now to play it safe? I feel like we have to. I guess I can't stop. Oh, there we go. All right. We want to hit for 1 first. That's why I wanted to stop doing that. Okay, there we go. No environmental sciences for us, just our mascot exhibition. Merfolk Looter, alright. They're just going to be right back at it again. I want to get a treasure token here for Havoc Gesture, because it's the only thing that I can sacrifice for free. The blood token, I have to spend a mana to sacrifice it. If I play Skullport Merchant this turn, and then Havoc Gesture next turn, I can play Havoc Gesture, sack the treasure, kill Merfolk Looter more quickly than I could with either of these cards that make a blood token. And I want to kill Merfolk Looter as quickly as possible, because this is a huge engine for these discard decks with cards like Drakehaven. This is, again, going to be a really worrisome matchup for us. I've got Mirror Harl Mimic as well, so they can get another Merfolk Looter. So they have redundancy even if we kill the first one. But yeah, the fact that we just have one card in our deck that can interact with Drakehaven at all is really brutal. Oh, Fireblade Charger is such a sick draw. Oh my god. So Fireblade Charger can kill one of them. If we sack Fireblade Charger when we have Havoc Gesture down, we can kill both of them. But we don't have the mana to play Havoc Gesture and Fireblade Charger and sack Fireblade Charger. So I think we play Havoc Gesture, sack the treasure, kill a Merfolk Looter, play a Fireblade Charger, and just accept they're going to have like 4 Drakes here. And I guess they can Archfiend of Sorrows us and get rid of our Fireblade Charger if we do that, though. Let's kill a Merfolk Looter. It doesn't really matter which one we target. They're going to use that one's effect at some point either way. Alright, they get their Drake token. Yeah, I mean, if they Archfiend of Sorrows us, they do kill Fireblade Charger, but that costs all their mana. Costs 5 mana. I guess they could play a land and then still have the mana to do Merfolk Looter one more time. But if this Fireblade Charger dies, we can still just on our next turn play like Sanguine Brushstroke or Falconwrath Forebear. And just sack one of those cards to Gesture, a blood token from one of those. So I think it's fine to Fireblade Charger here, even though they can kill it with the Archfiend if they tap out. Because as long as they don't kill Havoc Gesture. All right, well, they killed Havoc Gesture. If they can't kill Havoc Gesture and Fireblade Charger, we can still sacrifice Fireblade Charger to kill a Merfolk Looter. We just can't sacrifice a blood token to do it. Alright, they're digging with Merfolk Looter. They're getting their Drake. Alright. Cool, so we do get to go ahead and use Skullport Merchant to kill Merfolk Looter with Fireblade Charger. I think I don't want to Sanguine Brushstroke, because that just runs into Archfiend of Sorrows pretty bad. We don't want to get our Blood Artist demolished by that. I don't really want to get our Forebear demolished by that either, so I think I just sack first and see what we draw. These cards play really poorly into the Archfiend of Sorrows. And lands don't do anything. We can still play the Brushstroke or the Forebear. Just not good. We have to do something, because we can't just sit here taking 4 every turn without doing something proactively. I don't know, it just feels like whichever one of these we slam down, we just get Archfiend, and it doesn't really affect the game in any way. And the forebear doesn't even attack in well. It's just going to trade into a Drake that they can probably get more of later. I'm just going to pass. Neurophage. More land for us. Not great. We need to kill that Neurophage very quickly, or it becomes super, super big. Mascot Exhibition runs into Archfiend of Sorrows. We just keep a 4/4 down and that's it. Now we can actually cast Brushstroke or Forebear and have the mana to sacrifice them to the Merchant at least, which is something, so we'll do that. She's drawing cards here. We get to play Squee, but then I don't have the mana to sack. Squee doesn't even block anyway. Yeah, I think we pass and just hold up our mana to sack this Blood Artist. Yeah, we are really just getting handled by the draw discard deck, because cards like Drakehaven turn everything like Merfolk Looter into instead of draw discard, it's like draw a card, get a 2/2 Drake. You turn whatever you're discarding into a 2/2 Drake, so you're not getting any of the downside of the looting effect because you're still getting value out of it. You're actually getting just like upside, because a 1 mana 2/2 flyer is probably better than whatever card you discard to it. No, this was just sick. This is a really good deck from our opponent. They had 3 looters on us really early in the game. Jeskai Elder, Merfolk Looter, and a copied Merfolk Looter off Mirror Hall Mimic. They've got Ceremonial Knife to make blood tokens. Really well drafted here. We're going to get very justly absolutely demolished by this deck. So we're digging for something. I have no idea what we could possibly have here. But these cards are not it. Maybe Squeeze Sacrifice will get us there, but I doubt it. We can kill 1 flyer, but we take still lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the sky. That's game. That'll be another 2-3 run in the Tinkerer's Cube. Really unfortunate. I thought this deck was pretty sweet. But we ran up against some monstrous decks. The last 2 rounds that we played also were some really bad matchups for us. The Shrine deck and then the Drakehaven deck. We really just cannot interact with those cards pretty much at all. But yeah, I think this deck was still pretty sweet. Nice Rakdos sack stuff. It's not perfect. You know, we have some cards that don't synergize super well, like Silver Smoke Ghoul. We don't have a lot of life gain to bring this back for the sacrifice sort of strategy, but it's still like fine. We did have some stuff that really popped off. Battlecry Goblin and Slaughter Priest of Mogis were just insane aggressive cards. Slaughter Priest was constantly attacking as a 4/2 for 2 because we're just sacking treasures, or we're sacking blood tokens, stuff like that. Henrika Domnathi was the biggest card we cast in any game where we cast her. The Blood Artist and Falconwrath Noble didn't get to pop up off as much as I would have wanted them to, unfortunately, but Havoc Jester certainly did. And Squee, as I thought, Squee is really just feels like it's cute, but a really, really slow engine that feels too slow for Cube, even Tinkerer's Cube. But yeah, 2-3, below average. Pretty sad record for this deck. Again, I thought this deck was pretty sweet, but hit some really bad matchups and misplayed a bit in the Orzhov matchup. That'll happen. Maybe we could have gotten a 3-3, but I don't think there was any world where we were beating the Drakehaven deck or the Shrine deck with this deck. So, you win some, you lose some. A little bit of variance there. Not ideal decks to be playing against in the Rakdos color pair. And that is going to end today's draft, but that will certainly not end all of the Tinkerer's Cube drafts. I will be playing as many of these as I can fit in until the launch of Streets of New Capenna, so stick around on the channel if you're interested in seeing some more of these. As always, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you want to let the YouTube algorithm know to send you some more of these videos. And as always, Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.